Up there you go, spicy salamander. Right back at it. He look like he about to go play golf. Cute. He going for a job interview. That boy might as well go to Amazon, cuz.
All right, thank you very much. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I hope y'all all had a pleasant, long, enjoyable, peaceful weekend. All right, we are about to get started, but I think Miss Hilton ran out for just a second, so I'm sure she will be right back.
What? Did she run?
All right.
Ms. President, can we have the Zoom link?
Turn up.
Good morning, Mr. Copeland.
Oh.
On cross-examination last week, do you recall speaking with Doug Weinstein about your knowledge of God and knowing that God is in your heart? Do you remember that?
Yes.
And Mr. Weinstein asked you if with God in your heart, that is what you were thinking about when you raised your hand and took the oath. You remember him asking you that?
I don't get what you're saying.
Sure. Last week, Mr. Weinstein asked you when you took the oath to testify, if you had God on your mind. Do you remember him asking you that?
Yes.
Okay. And you said he wasn't on your mind, he was in your heart. Do you remember that?
God, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And you and I have had discussions about God. Is that fair to say?
What?
Yes, we have.
Okay.
When?
And he asked you, Mr. Weinstein asked you, with God in your heart, is everything that you testified to in trial the truth now? Do you remember him asking you that?
I guess, yes.
But that's not actually accurate, is that, Mr. Copeland?
What you mean?
That everything that you testified to in court while you've been here isn't all true. Is that fair to say?
I don't get what you're asking.
Sure.
You say, is everything I testify is true?
Yes.
To my understanding, it's true.
Okay. Well, I want to play for you State's Exhibit 399Y, which is your testimony from a few weeks ago with you and I talking about your ability to read, okay?
To read?
Yes. We're just waiting for the Zoom. Gotta wait for the Zoom.
I need to put the headphones on?
Yes, please.
Tap the like button. Salute to everybody in here. Straight up. Is Woody back for his last day? More than likely. Now, the state's going back to try to clean up what the cross-exam exposed. And then I believe the defense might come back for a little bit at the end, then Woody out of here. We might see a new witness today.
Okay. I'm going to show you what's already been admitted as State's Exhibit 332Y.
I can hardly hear it.
Now looking at
It's not playing right here.
where we stopped it. At State's Exhibit 332Y, do you see on here where it says Hertz rental record?
I can't read.
So you can't see anything on that page?
I can't read.
Do you see the name Jeffery Williams?
Baltimore, California, how you do that there?
Now, do you remember telling me that you couldn't read?
Right?
Okay.
Right.
Can I speak on it?
Gotcha.
All right.
Right. That boy relaxed.
There was no explanation of that. I think she's going to ask him another question, and you can. We'll see where it goes from there.
He looked like he lost his spirit, y'all.
Go ahead, Miss Hilton.
I'm showing the council some.
He worried, y'all. Something ain't right with him. Look at his face, y'all. Nah, bro. All jokes aside. I ain't even trolling right now. I ain't playing. Nah, this ain't just been out all night. Nah. His spirit down, bro. Nah, this ain't just tired, y'all. Nah, because even when you tired and you from outside, you still got perk in you. Nah, something going on, bro. Telling you. I've been we've been looking at this boy in his face for, like, you feel me? Real rap, bro. Yoden showed, you know, solidarity through a lot of wild time periods. Holmes' eyes look a little, I don't know. This ain't tired, y'all. I'm a tired champion. I know about being up all night. Nah, we talking about something else. That was a different look. Cause he up right now. And you could see the whole spurts. You could see that you could feel it when he was coming in the courtroom. Today, nah, Holmes. Yeah, J-Ham. Holmes got some bad news. Yeah, and it might not even got nothing to do with him, y'all. Whatever that is. It's like he's seen the feds in the hallway or something. Nah, I don't think he worried about getting locked up, though, bro. I don't think he did nothing to get locked up, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I don't think he did nothing to get locked up, bro. This boy successfully did exactly what you... He really... All his information was hearsay, y'all. So it's like he wasn't here to point Jeff out. So I don't think he failed on that. I think he made it through his testimony doing it like how they expected him to do. So I don't think he really crossed no line to get him locked up, bro. Now, for something we don't know about, like he had some hidden stipulation we don't know about, that might be possible.
Permission to approach, Your Honor.
You may.
I'm going to show you what's the Martin States Exhibit 401. Why? First time if you recognize States Exhibit 401. Why?
Say, have I recognized it?
Yep.
I never seen it before.
See your name on here?
Yeah. Yes.
See your signature on the back page.
Yes.
Do you see that date of December 13, 2018?
Yes.
And does it say plea of guilty form?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. Is this the plea of guilty form you filled out when you took the plea to theft by receiving stolen property back in 2018?
Can you say it again?
Sure. Is this the plea of guilty form that you had to fill out when you took the plea to theft by receiving stolen property in 2018?
I guess.
I'm also now showing you State's Exhibit 402Y. Do you see your name on there?
Yes.
See your signature when you signed and date this on August 12, 2013?
I see that date.
Okay. Do you see your signature?
Oh, yes.
Did you fill this out when you took your plea in 12 SC 110195, which was your intern automobile plea?
I guess.
I guess, is that your signature?
What?
Second page.
Yes.
Right. I'm also showing you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 403Y. You see your name on here?
Yes.
Do you see the petition of bond that you filled out while in jail trying to get a bond?
You said I filled it up?
Did you write this from the Fulton County Jail?
Yes, I wrote this, but not that.
So you didn't write your petition for bond?
No, this not in my handwriting.
Well, I'm showing you State's Exhibit 404Y. Do you see this letter that you wrote from the Fulton County Jail?
Again, that's not my handwriting.
Okay. Do you see that this was sent by you from the Fulton County Jail?
That's my handwriting.
This is your handwriting, but you didn't write this in this.
Yes.
Looking at State's Exhibit 401 and 402, Your Honor, the state would like to admit 401 and 402Y.
Admitted.
Do you see here on page 4, you had to write, are you able to read, write, and understand the English language? You said yes.
Yes.
All right. Also here in your plea of guilty form, can you read, write, and understand the English language? You said yes, correct?
Right.
All right. And that's what you signed and dated, correct?
I guess.
All right. And last week, do you remember when Mr. Steele put before you the murder warrants in this case? You were able to read the murder warrants in this case?
I don't remember reading that.
Okay. Do you remember when Mr. Shar asked you to read that dismissal form that when your case was dismissed in early this year, that you were able to read that?
He read it for me.
Do you remember reading it yourself?
I remember listening to him and agreeing to, because he reading it for me in front of everybody, so I assumed that what he reading is on there.
Is it the only time that you couldn't read when I had to put something in front of you that dealt with thug?
It's a different, like that's what I just asked, because I explained to you.
What would you like?
Reading and understanding is different. Like, you putting papers in front of me, like.
She had 5 days to come up with something to stump y'all, and he just successfully debunked her. One line. Smoked her boots just now. Holmes just smoked her boots right now. Yo just told her, I can read. I can't comprehend law. Killed her. Killed her. Killed her.
You read that stuff?
Okay. So is your testimony today that you did not read anything last week when Mr. Steele and Mr. Sharp gave you documents to read?
You said, did I read anything last week?
Yes.
I don't. Just looked at the paper. He reading it in front of everybody, so I'm assuming whatever he reading.
Remember, I've been told y'all this. I've been told y'all, I say, yo, even if a dude really can't read it, yo, I mean, like, in context, we talking about dudes with known low education, low IQ, low, some with learning disabilities. And remember our question, should they be held accountable for taking advantage of these types of people? Straight up. A law. Yes, sir. Because these same types of people, this get addressed in certain areas. Seriously. This boy got a disability for a mental problem. And we talking about educated people that went to college, taking advantage of him in rooms by himself for hours at a time in order to solve investigations that could put him in harm's way along with his family. For real.
You gotta be on that because he in front of the courts.
Okay. Now, that wasn't the only thing that you have not been honest about with this jury now that you testified. Is that fair to say?
What you mean?
Okay. On cross, do you remember Mr. Steele and Mr. Shard asking you about the gang meeting with Mo the day before Nut died?
I'm listening.
Do you remember them asking you about it?
You said, do I remember them asking me about it?
Yes.
I guess.
And this is the same gang meeting that you didn't remember me asking you about it or telling me about it. Do you recall that?
You asked me about it?
Yes, and you didn't remember it when I asked you about it.
What am I supposed to say?
An answer. Do you remember not recalling that meeting at all when I asked you about it?
I don't even remember what they asked me about it.
Okay. This gang meeting with Mo, is that the same meeting as you told Detective Thorpe about back in 2015?
I told you, when it came to talking to the detectives, I would tell them anything to get them out of my face.
And is this the same meeting that you told Detective Dennis and Gaither about back in 2015?
I guess, I don't know.
Okay. And is this the same meeting that occurred after Rich Homie Quan's car was shot at the studio?
Can you say that again?
This gang meeting with Mo, is this the same meeting that occurred after Rich Homie Quan's car was shot up at the music studio?
Was it after? I don't know.
Okay. And is this the same shooting that Nut was at that studio as well when Rich Homie Quan's car got shot up, correct?
Yeah, it's them.
So they saying Woody got green lighted for shooting up Rich Homie Quan's car at the studio on the 6th?
I don't know. I don't know who was at where. I don't know.
Or was it the 7th?
Now, last week, do you remember saying that that meeting was about you? This gang meeting was about you. Do you remember saying that?
Yeah, who I told it to?
Mr. Steele and Mr. Shard.
It's the way you ask me the question. You got to ask me the same way they ask me.
Let me ask you this. The meeting about the gang meeting with Mo, that meeting wasn't just about you, correct?
Was it just about me?
Yeah, was it just about you?
The part I know about.
Wasn't this also about Thug? Weren't and Thug discussed at this meeting as well?
Was it, they brought his name up?
Yes.
No.
Do you remember telling Investigator Thorpe that this meeting was about you and Thug?
I told you, I had to, you keep going to me. When they questioned me, I was trying to, bring him in it. I mean, like.
I want to play Stacey Exhibit 370 Watt.
I don't get it.
78 YA at 306:35.
I got to listen to it?
Yes, please.
What they said yesterday,
It's not playing.
They have a meeting. The meeting.
It's on here, but it's not playing. The headphone might be broke.
Can you push it? Make sure it's all the way pushed.
It's already in.
We'll just play it for a little while. Maybe it'll pick up afterwards.
What they said yesterday, Friday, they have a meeting. The meeting, like it was a blood meeting, and the meeting was about me and Thug. Me and Young Thug. But the whole time, I'm telling them like, what Thug got to do with this, bro? Young Thug was just talking. Young Thug, the rapper. I'm like, what he got to do with this? You know what I'm saying? So I'm talking to him. Like, he with you. I'm like, bro, it ain't no beef, bro. Like, I can stand out these out here. You feel no pay no shit down for y'all attention. Listening. But it was the guy that was at me. That was the guy down the road, Mo. He's supposed to say, kill me and Young Thug. So I asked, I got 10 minutes on the phone. I text back on the phone like, dang, bro, y'all gonna kill me and Thug? And I could have let it say, like, ha. And he like, bro, what you talking about? Like, ain't that like you said? So another guy told me, like, ain't that like you said? I'm like, okay, they just lying. He like, yeah. So next thing you know,
I'm going to stop it at 3:07:39. Mr. Coburn, you're the person who brought up Thug, correct?
I guess so.
Detective Thorpe never brought up Thug, correct?
Right, correct.
Matter of fact, he had to clarify who you were talking about, correct?
Yes.
All right. So,
remember how I was telling you that I take a little bit of piece of the truth?
So again, when it has to deal with Thug, that part is a lie. But you being on the plate isn't a lie. But Thug being on the plate is a lie. Is that what you're trying to say?
What I'm trying to say is, when I was talking to Detective Thorpe, I wasn't raised to tell the truth to the police. So, whatever. If you listen to what I said in the interview, I said, what Thug have to do with this? So if it was about me and Thug, why would I be saying what Thug have to do with it? Shit, I already know.
Okay. But this is because this was a gang meeting that they were putting you on the plate, correct?
I ain't never been on no plate.
Okay. They wanted to kill you and Thug. That's what you told the detective.
Yes, that's what I told the detective.
Now, also on cross-examination, do you recall talking about meetings that you had with the state of Georgia multiple times? Do you remember talking about meetings that you had with Ms. Love, with me, with Investigator Long? Do you remember that?
Yes.
Now, across, do you remember Mr. Steele asking you about when I, Ms. Love, met with you at the Fayette County Jail?
Okay.
Right. And do you remember that line of questioning?
If you said the same way he did, I will. I remember him asking about y'all though.
Now, when we met, do you recall it being me, Ms. Love, and actually Investigator Viverito that met with you at the Fayette County Jail?
Which time?
The only time that I ever met you at the Fayette County Jail.
You only came once?
You recall me coming to the Fayette County Jail one time to meet with you?
I thought you came more than once.
Do you remember going to?
I'm telling you what I remember. I thought you came more than once.
That's fine. Do you remember me coming with Ms. Love and Investigator Viverito?
I thought you came with Ms. Love and Ms. Rolette and Long.
Okay, we'll talk about that meeting because that did happen, but I wasn't there. But we'll talk about that too.
Sustained.
In November, do you remember us meeting in November of 2022? Sure. Do you remember us meeting in November of 2022?
I remember you down there. We were laughing. Yeah.
Okay.
Laughing?
And that was the first time we ever met. Would you agree?
Yeah, that was the first time I ever seen you.
Y'all was laughing together?
And do you remember I was standing on the back wall because I didn't know who you were?
Yes.
You were standing on a wall over to the side.
I remember you was quiet most of the time.
Okay. And Ms. Love and Investigator Viverito were standing on the other side of you. You remember that?
They were sitting by each other, I think.
Yes. And do you remember telling me you don't know me, so you were being very observant of what I would say to you? Do you recall that?
Mm-hmm. I'm more watching me burrito.
And why were you watching us give her a veto?
But she had her phone in her hand, trying to be slick.
Ooh.
And what did you think was happening with the phone in her hand?
Y'all were trying to trick me again.
Okay. And we say trick you again. What do you mean?
Well, not y'all, but the state was trying to trick me again.
Okay.
Ooh.
And when we met, did you tell us that you did not want to testify?
I think so.
Yep. And did you told us that you had left all this stuff in the past?
This sounds like somebody say.
And did you tell us that you were upset because when you needed our help, we didn't help you?
I guess.
Do you remember talking to us about Gaither not helping you out back in 2015?
I guess.
Do you remember telling us that we should have got your testimony back then when you were really willing to help us out?
I guess.
Do you remember talking to Ms. Love about a case that she worked on with one of your friends?
I most definitely do.
Okay.
And she denied it.
All right. And do you remember us talking about the fact that you wanted to write a book?
No, I told you I wrote a book.
And that you wanted to get it published, correct?
I said I was thinking about it, but I didn't want to put it out because it had too much violence in it.
And is that what you told us? It had too many bodies?
Violence.
Oh, okay.
Whoa.
And did you tell us?
Oh, nah, objection. We need to have a sidebar. She can't, that was dirty. She did that in front of the jury.
That you didn't have a court date and you were trying to get you a court date.
That's what I said. Yeah, I said y'all would stop me from going to court.
And did we tell you we weren't trying to figure out why you didn't have a court date?
Yes.
All right. Isn't it true when we met, we never talked about any details about 2015?
Miss Love tried to.
But we never discussed it, correct?
What you mean?
We never went into details about anything that Little D told you. We never went into details about any of the Club Crucial. We never went into details about the facts of 2015. Isn't that fair?
It's still Mike right.
Overruled. And speaking to your mic also when you're making objections. Thank you. They're out. Shocker. All right, we'll let IT know.
What?
But again, we never discussed the facts of that case when we met with you down at the Fayette County Jail.
I don't know. My only concern was telling y'all that y'all were holding me in jail. So I can't really be specific with. I can't recall. You got to tell me what y'all was saying.
Okay. The only thing we talked about was the fact that you did not want to be in Fayette County Jail and you wanted a court date so you can get out of jail. Is that fair?
No, we was in there for a long time.
And we never discussed the facts of the case. Correct.
See, you talking. I think I'm more. I think I'm more talking to Miss Love, and you was just because I just remember you just kept standing there and you trying to act like somebody in the hood. So
was I just quiet and being myself?
No, you acting like somebody I grew up with.
They flirting.
Let's focus on what it is that you're trying to
She a hater.
clarify.
Now, the next time
The judge a hater. They was flirting. The judge a hater.
that we met was in May of 2024. Is that fair to say?
I don't keep up with the time.
Okay. The next time we met is when I met you in Pittsburgh, correct?
I think so.
Okay. And that was with you, me, and Investigator Long, correct?
Yes.
And we met by the train tracks over in Pittsburgh.
Yes.
Is that fair to say?
Should
And
be in the trenches.
when you got into the car, you sat in the back seat, correct?
Yes.
And I was in the front, Long was driving, correct? Or in the driver's seat, correct?
No, he stood outside the car.
Hey, yo, is this case connected to gentrifying Mechanicsville and Pittsburgh and Summerhill? Ain't it? Some colleges around in this area or something, and they need more land?
And he eventually got inside.
He stood outside. I seen him stand outside the whole time.
And when we first met, I asked you if Melvin was your attorney, correct?
Yes.
And you said you had not talked to him.
No, I said he is my attorney, but I haven't talked to him.
And you told me that he was your attorney because you had not talked to him, correct?
Huh?
You told me that he wasn't your attorney because you had not talked to him.
You may. All right, can you restate that question? Are you saying was not?
Correct.
So
Isn't it? I will say
go ahead.
yes. Isn't it true that you told me because you all have not talked, he was not your attorney?
No, I had always told y'all he was my attorney. It just I don't talk to him that much.
Okay. I asked you if you still wanted to talk to me, correct?
Yeah, I think so.
And we talked, correct?
Yes.
And it was a cordial meeting, which is that fair to say?
I don't know what that means.
It was a pleasant meeting, is that fair to say?
A pleasure?
It was a good meeting.
I just kept telling y'all, leave me out of this.
Okay.
I just want to move forward my life and let my past be in the past.
And when we met, you did not have any pending criminal charges, correct? You didn't have any criminal cases.
I don't know. I know I had just went to court and played to the last case I had open. Well, I had another one from the jail, but
At the time, you didn't know that had been dismissed. Is that fair?
well, the lawyer just told me they were dismissed.
And when we met in the car, we also didn't go into the facts of the case, correct?
Well, I told you I was lying, and you told me that you know I wasn't lying.
Did you tell us that you just did not want to testify?
What you mean?
Did you tell Long and I you did not want to be involved in this case?
Yeah, I don't told the world that. I think so.
Okay. And then when we were finishing, I asked if we can meet again on Monday. You remember that?
I guess.
And you told me, I'll pray about it. Is that fair?
Sound like something I say.
Okay. And we called you on Monday and you did not want to speak to us. Is that fair? Then,
I don't know, because I still end up down here.
and you came down here later that week, correct? On about Wednesday.
No, Tuesday.
On Tuesday of that week. Thank you. And when we met on that Tuesday, correct?
I was down here. I don't know if I can't remember if it was you I met with, but I was down here with y'all.
Okay. And when we met, you told us you did not want to testify and that you just wanted us to play the tapes, correct?
Cause that's what y'all wanted. That's what y'all said y'all wanted. I don't listen, man. I don't know you. I don't know these trick questions that you asked me or what, but you know what me and you talked about.
Okay.
And I told you that I done lied to these people, and you done got me up here. You talking about put my hand up to God to tell the truth, and I'm lying, but you can't tell me what I'm lying about and telling the truth about.
When you asked me to just play the tapes, I told you I couldn't just play the tapes, that you had to testify.
So I can't.
So he can say, yeah, that's right. He can say, no, that's not right. He can say, I don't remember. He can say, here's what really happened. I mean, it's not testimony, it's questions. And I have and will again instruct the jury that what the attorneys ask is not testimony, it's not evidence. So I understand, and you continue to have your continuing objection, and it continues to be overruled.
And when I met with you, Investigator Long was present, correct?
When?
Back in June when you came down to the courthouse.
Oh yes, I think so.
And when we met, did I go over with you in front of Investigator Long my understanding of the events leading up to Donovan Thomas's murder?
Back to the relevance of prosecutors' understanding of events that she wasn't present.
Can you rephrase the question?
Sure. Did we talk about the events leading up to Donovan Thomas's murder?
I honestly can't remember.
Do you recall telling me that I had most of it correct, but there were some things I had wrong?
I don't remember. I don't. Yeah, I think I told you y'all don't got y'all facts together, but I don't know.
Okay. And do you recall telling me that some of the facts that we didn't have together was the fact that you had stolen Donovan Thomas's stuff?
What you mean?
Did you tell me?
You talking too aggressive right now, and it's frustrating me.
Yeah.
Did you tell me that the one thing that I did not have correct is that you were the person that stole Donovan Thomas's belongings?
I guess.
Did you also tell me that when I asked you about the shooting with Thug and Nard in the car on the night that you got into the fight with Kel at Club Crucial, that I didn't have all of my facts together regarding the shooting with Thug and Nard? Did you tell me that?
I don't get what you're saying.
Do you recall telling the detectives about a shooting with Thug and Nard in the car, and you and your brother was in another car, and you saw Nard with a gun, and he racked it, and when you started driving away, you heard shots being fired?
I told it to you here?
No, did you tell that to the police?
Am I in the interrogation room?
Yes.
Oh, I tell the police anything.
Okay. Do you remember telling me that I didn't have all of those details correct?
No, I don't remember telling you that.
Okay. Do you remember me telling you that I had to tell the defense everything that you told me that was different?
You said, only thing you told the defense.
Do you remember me telling you that I would have to tell the defense anything that you told me that was different than what was in the interviews?
And that's when I switched it up.
And that's why you were mad, because you did not want me to tell the defense the things that you told me that were different.
Nah, I didn't want you to tell them what I said because I didn't want them to tell on me. So when you said that, I was like, don't say that because I don't want to be exposed.
And speaking about that, when we met, did you tell me that your biggest concern was?
I was like, don't say that because I don't want to be exposed.
And speaking about that, when we met, did you tell me that your biggest concern was what the defense knew about you?
My things I did?
Yes.
Right.
And did you tell me I don't have a problem testifying for y'all? I'm more concerned about what they know about me.
I'm concerned about both of y'all because it ain't, cause, I mean, people, I don't know. It's just, man, I don't know. You got me up here
And you keep telling me that, you keep testifying that you kept telling us that you lied. Is that fair? Do you recall me asking you, what do you lie about? What do you lie about?
You thought I was going to tell you?
Okay. And then I ask you, are you talking about like lying to your girlfriend? What are you talking about?
Because I wanted y'all to, like, because y'all put me in here and I constantly told you, I know I done told you every time you talk, like, I don't lie. So y'all putting me up here and y'all be expecting me to remember the lies I done told. Yeah, I better remember the truth.
And remember when we met, you've never told me any lie that you said back in 2015. Is that fair?
All the time, to be honest with you, you ask me a question. Anytime I think about anytime me and you met, it was just some laughing, hee-ha-ha. Like, I don't... you played on me.
Yeah.
Because we were always cordial with one another.
Yeah, y'all was flirting.
If that's what it means.
We were always on good terms with it.
Y'all was dating.
Correct?
Yes.
Keep it real, Hill.
Now, do you recall also telling me that the defense may have a video with you and others bragging about killing Nut?
Hmm.
Do you remember telling me that there might be a video that the defense has that it's you and others bragging about we killed Nut?
What about it?
Do you remember telling me that?
Nah.
I told you that?
Where's that?
Do you remember me asking you if the video exists, can I have a copy of it?
Whoa.
Huh?
Huh?
Do you remember me asking you if this video exists, would you give me a copy of it?
Oh.
I don't even...
You lying.
Shit, when I heard it, them people say it over there, I didn't know y'all. I don't know that. I don't know. I don't recall.
So last week when Mr. Steele asked you if there was a video about saying you killed Nut, that wasn't the video. Correct? There was a video maybe that said we killed Nut. Correct?
What video y'all have?
Yeah.
Is this the video that you said the defense may have?
I haven't seen no video. Y'all ain't showed me none.
Facts. Good answer. I don't know what you're talking about.
During these meetings that we had with each other, at any point, did you ever tell me that what little D told you about the night of Donovan Thomas's murder was a lie?
I don't even, only time me and you talk about it, it was just like, I told you that I made it up. And you were like, which part did I make up? And I was like, let D get into my car saying that this happened. And then you was like, so let D never got in your car and said that they killed her. And I was like, no. And you was like, why is this my first time saying it? And I was like, I was scared. And then you was like, so you asked me about Noah, and I was telling her I didn't know him for real. And I just made it up. And you was like, and then you were like, well, I gotta let the defense know. And I was like, damn, you gonna tell them? And then you were like, I have to. And then I was just like, damn, don't tell them because the defense already saying that, you know what I mean, too much that they don't need to be saying.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't it true that it wasn't until you were about to testify that you told me some different things about what happened that night at McDonald's?
Because you made me feel comfortable.
Oh,
And
they
that's
was
when you
dating.
told
I
me
told
that
y'all.
it wasn't Nard that got into your car. It was Little D and Shannon that got into your car.
Huh?
Do you remember telling me on the day that you were going to testify that it wasn't Nard that got into your car on the day that Donovan Thomas passed away, but it was Little D and Shannon that got into your car?
I don't get what you're asking me.
Do you remember telling me, switching your story up, that it
No,
was...
I didn't switch my story, but I came forward. You made me feel comfortable, and I let you know, like, I lied. The D never told me nobody killed nobody when he got in my car.
Did you ever tell me what you told me on June 7th, 2024, that Little D didn't say anything to you? That's what you told me, correct?
You just confused me again.
Sure. When we met in June of 2024, that's when you told me that Little D didn't say anything to you. That was the first time you ever said that, correct?
You said that was the first time I ever told anybody that?
Yes.
So I guess I don't get, like, I hear what you're saying, but I don't get it. I don't understand it.
It was only in June of this year, that was the first time you ever said that Little D did not tell you anything in the car, correct?
Because you the first person I ever spoke with that made me feel like you went after me. So it was like you made me feel comfortable to let it.
Yeah, like we could have something after this. Like after the question, and then maybe could go further. Like maybe possibly like we might be able to like just leave all of this behind us and just go ahead and live happily ever after. So you made me feel good, girl.
You know that shit, I lied. So I felt like you was somebody.
I had to tell you all my truths if we was gonna take it there. Like if we was gonna walk down the aisle, how could I stand in front of the preacher and tell and share my rest of my life with you if I ain't tell you the truth? So that's how you made me feel, girl.
I knew, and I wanted to tell the truth to you that I made it up.
Also, during these meetings, did you tell me multiple times that you did not kill Nut when we met?
Say that again.
When we met previously, did you tell me multiple times that you did not kill Nut?
Yes, I think I told you that.
Okay. And did I tell
Yo, this is a hell of a twist in this love story.
you that there was other evidence that supported what you told me? What?
Sustained.
Did I tell you that? Did I tell you didn't strike that? Did I discuss with you that I could not show you any other evidence because you were a witness?
Huh?
Did I tell you that I could not show you any other evidence because you were a witness in this case?
No, you showing me the pictures and stuff and the phone calls that you're gonna use. That's what you're talking about?
I did show you that. Was there other evidence I told you that I could not show you because you were a witness?
I don't remember.
Now, Mr. Shard on cross-examination asked you if I showed you all of your interviews prior to trial. Do you remember that?
Say that. Can you say that again?
Do you remember last week Mr. Shard asking you if I showed you all of your interviews prior to trial? Do you remember that?
Can you just ask me this question? I don't.
Do you remember Mr. Shard last week asking you if I showed you all six of your interviews prior to trial?
You showed me the interviews. What about it?
Do you remember Mr. Shard asking you if I showed them to you? Do you, Mr. Copeland, would you have sat down and watched 21 hours of interviews with me if I asked you to?
Yup.
I don't even want to sit down right here and listen to y'all now.
He would have.
Now, Mr. Copeland, after we met in June, you were supposed to testify on June 7th, 2024. Do you remember that?
All I know is I jump when y'all tell me to jump.
Told you.
On that day, when you were supposed to testify, do you remember pleading the fifth?
Oh, when y'all locked me up?
When you got locked up because you pled the fifth. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes?
I never forget it.
All right. And you went to the Fulton County Jail, correct?
That's what y'all took me to.
And then you went to the DeKalb County Jail, correct?
That's where they took me to.
And then on Monday, June 10th, there was a meeting in the judge's chambers. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And that meeting was with you. Slow down. On that Monday, June 10th, there was a meeting in judge's chambers, correct?
Yes.
And that meeting was with you. You were there.
Yes.
Your attorney, Ms. Bumpus, was there.
And you was there.
I was there. Investigator Long was there.
Yes.
Okay. Another investigator, Hamilton, was there.
Kind of little short bald head dude.
Yes.
Yes.
And
right.
there were some sheriff's deputies, correct?
A lot of them.
All right. And the purpose of that meeting was to explain to you what would get you out of jail, correct?
I don't know. I don't know the purpose of it.
Okay. Where did we discuss you getting out of jail?
We been there for a long time.
And did we discuss you getting out of jail?
Yeah.
All right.
It was some of it.
And do you remember Mr. Shaw and Mr. Steele asking you about those meetings last week?
I remember, I don't know which one asked me, but I remember being asked about it.
And is it true that there were some details missing from what they asked you last week?
You tell me.
Yo, just to let y'all know, Hilton got on the funeral dress, but Shorty got on blood red heels on right now. Let me show you. Blood red. She came for murder. That's bloody. She got on the bloody Mary heels right now, y'all. She came for murder. Now, I don't think she's smoking his boots right now, though. I think she light with it. But she came to play, though.
During this meeting, were you able to talk to your attorney, Ms. Bumpus, on multiple occasions?
She sat right there with me the whole time.
And were there times when we left and you were able to talk to her by yourself?
I whispered in her ear.
What?
But were there times when I left the room, the judge left the room, and you and Ms. Bumpus were in there and the two of you talked by yourself?
I think y'all probably left out before. I can't really remember.
And did I tell you in that interview that the only reason why you were in jail is because you pled the fifth?
That sounds like something you said.
And did I also tell you that so long as you testify that you would not be in jail?
Huh?
Did I also tell you that so long as you testified, you would not be in jail?
Well, me and you going back and forth.
And did I tell you that so long as you testified, you would not be in jail?
Yeah, but I was explaining to you why I didn't want to testify.
And did I tell you multiple times in that interview that the state of Georgia did not want you to be in jail?
That sounds like something you said.
And I didn't just say it one time, I said it.
Hey,
You
yo.
need some water?
Nah.
Yo, I'm getting the feeling that Woody and Hilton was co-workers for so long. They started being around each other alone at night, working late nights, and they just happened in the heat of the moment just kiss. And then they like, oh, my bad. And they like looked at each other in the eyes and like kind of like, oh, I ain't mean to do that. But they both really wanted it. And it was like the heat of the moment. And they both were single. So it was like they was available. I feel like that happened.
I've been coughing all weekend.
Did I say it to you multiple times in that interview that we did not want you in jail?
I think you said the whole time.
Now, in that meeting, did I also tell you that I expected you to tell the truth?
And I told you that. I don't lie. If you keep going to the past, if you want me to tell the truth, you can't ask me about what I done told the police because when you know what I mean, I'm just going with the flow.
And do you also remember during that meeting, your attorney asking me if he gets on the stand and says things that aren't true, would I be okay with that?
If I wasn't talking, I don't know.
Do you recall Ms. Bumpus, your attorney, saying, if he says something, it'll be effect on it. If he says he did something and you know he's not telling the truth, what happens? And my response to you is, if he said he did something and he did not do that thing, and she said to me, if you believe he did not, so if you believe that he's lying about that, then I said, then no. If he admits to doing something on the stand and he did not do that thing, I'm going to ask him, this is the first time you're saying that. And she asked, and you have independent evidence to prove it wasn't him, then what? Then nothing. What do you mean? So she said, so you're okay with him if he got on the stand and said things?
Ms. Hilton, get to the question.
Is it true that I said, no, I want him to tell the truth. What have I always said to you? I want you to tell the truth. I don't know what's going to come out your mouth, but I expect you to tell the truth. Is that what I said to you?
You told me that if I say I killed Donovan Thomas and I ain't killed him, you're going to lock me up. You said that if I plead the fifth, you're going to lock me up. And from my understanding, whatever I had to say to matter, from my understanding.
And let's talk about the part about Donovan Thomas, correct?
Oh, gee whiz.
Do you recall me saying to you, and this is when, so we talk a lot about perjury in the chambers.
What's the other word is too that I was saying?
Purge. Remember we talked about
them
perjury?
2 different words. Okay, yeah, that's it.
Okay. Do you remember us talking about perjury, and perjury meaning lying on the stand?
I always get confused, but you know it.
And did you?
I get confused, but you know it. Yo.
Your attorney asked me multiple times, if you testify and say something that I know isn't true, what would happen?
What you mean?
Did Ms. Bumpus ask me on multiple occasions, if you testify and say something that I know isn't true, what would happen?
You told me I don't know. I was trying to get it down pat what you were saying, but because you kept going back and forth about it, because I wasn't understanding it, the purge and perjury, because it sounded the same to me.
He still don't know the difference. Who remember me going over this transcript and pointing out the fact that they spent him? And he did not understand the difference between these two words. And even when she explained it to him, he still didn't understand it. I promise I read it, and I pointed that out. I said, yo, they spent him. And when he's trying to get clarity, she's continuously spinning him. Seriously, she know that boy ain't get clarity on it. When she was speaking, you could see it in the transcript. She gave him a vague explanation and kept it moving. Something that just made him just be quiet. But he did not understand. I'm telling you.
The stuff I said in the past was a lie. You gotta ask me now. I don't know.
Let me ask you this. When the judge was not present, and it was just you, me, Investigator Long, and the sheriff's deputies, and your attorney, did I ask you, did you plan on taking the stand and saying that you killed Nut to help your friends out because you had immunity? Did I ask you that?
I don't know if you asked me that, but I know I told you that I'm not admitted to no crimes.
Okay. And did you tell me you were not going to admit that you killed Nut?
Yeah, I'm not going to admit that.
Okay. And did I then tell you that if you planned on claiming a murder that you did not do, that is when you would be charged with perjury?
That's what you just said. That's what I just said. You said. If I said it right. And you.
So if he ain't do the body, and he wasn't there when the dude got bodied, how is he the key witness to the body? Because of hearsay?
Asked me when you questioned me, did I do it? And I told you no.
So you talking about killing Nut, that at no point did I ever tell you if you just admit to killing Nut, you'll be charged with perjury. Did I ever tell you that?
I don't understand you.
No, I don't object. I tell you this.
Yes, he was charged with the body before. And they still ain't fixed Still Mike. That is nuts. That man, $1 million lawyer. He can afford the mic. Yeah.
Question at all. I can't. So I object to this line of question.
I understand. Yes, sir, Mr. Short. No, it is not. She's not even asking him things about the transcript right now. She's asking him things that happened not on the transcript.
You sound annoyed.
Now,
Oh, side note, the judge worked on this case before, y'all. She was in the DA's office for about 4 to 5 years. Don't quote me on that. And this case was at the top of the charts the whole time she was there, just to let y'all know. So this judge is hip to all this information. Yeah. Yeah, I forgot to tell y'all.
last week, I believe Mr. Sharp asked you if I told you, you could say I don't recall to every question. Do you remember him asking you that?
He pissed me off too, so I got frustrated when he was talking to me.
Do you remember your attorney asking me, can he say I don't recall to every question?
Which lawyer?
Ms. Bumpus, in that June meeting.
I don't.
Do you recall Ms. Bumpus saying, can he say I don't recall to every question? And my response to her was, I will hope that is not the truth, because I think there are some things you do recall and some things you don't. But the things you don't recall, you don't recall. And I will go through my process of what I do. You recall me telling your attorney that?
See, y'all don't understand. Like, I think don't nobody in this courtroom know how I feel to be sitting right here. It ain't about what I recall, what I remember, what I don't remember. It's the functioning of my brain as I'm sitting up here. It's like I'm trying to answer y'all, but my brain is in and out. Like, I don't.
Oh.
You feel me? Like, I can't. You ask me. It's how you asking me the question. It better. I'm trying to comprehend what you're saying, and then answer truthfully. But it sounds like a trick question because I don't know how to answer these questions. When me and you talk without being in the courtroom, you taught me on a level where I can understand you good. But when you get right here, the question that you asked me made me feel like I'm in an interrogation room, so I don't know how to answer your questions.
In that meeting, back in June, a few months ago, do you remember me telling you that I just want you to be truthful?
Yes.
And do you remember me saying to you, I don't know what your current truth is, but I know what you told the police back in 2015?
Current truth is crazy.
Overruled.
Hey, yo.
Do you remember having that conversation in the judge's chambers?
Yo, somebody make a clothing line called Current Truth. That is crazy. A podcast or something. That is something. That's got a ring to it. Current Truth? That's crazy.
Yeah, because I told you that. Y'all don't know. Like, y'all don't know. And you said that your mouth that, yeah, you're right. We don't know what you're going to say and what your truth is. So.
And do you remember me telling your attorney to talk to you about what impeachment is?
I thought that was the same word as the other perjury, whatever. But ain't it the same?
I can't answer that question for you, but do you remember, did I tell your attorney to talk to you about impeachment?
Talk to me about impeachment?
Yes.
I don't know. I know most of the time we was talking like my only thing was I was in jail and I didn't understand what was going on. I just felt like I don't know.
Now, also in that meeting, you said I did these crimes. Do you remember saying that I did these crimes?
Because I don't want my family I don't want my nephews and them to to hear the stuff that I did.
Okay. When you said you did these crimes, what crimes were you talking about?
I don't recall
When you say you don't recall, what do you mean?
that. I ain't speaking on it.
Were these crimes that occurred back in 2015 or crimes that happened more recently?
I don't commit crimes. I changed my life.
So when you said I did these crimes and Mr. Steele asked you about that, or Mr. Shard, what crimes were you talking about that you did?
I guess the ones in my dream, the nightmares, whatever. I don't know. I don't get what you're asking me.
In that June interview, not interview, in that June meeting that happened a few months ago, and Mr. Steele or Mr. Shard asked you about this last week. You said, I did these crimes, I'm telling you that. And my response to you was, okay, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm asking you today, what crimes were you talking about back in June that you said you committed?
I ain't committed no crimes.
Are you saying you haven't committed any crimes recently?
The crimes I committed for, y'all locked me up for them.
So then when you said I did these crimes, were you talking about things that happened in 2015?
I'm talking about the crimes y'all caught me for.
And to be clear, were you talking about any crimes that are charged in this present indictment?
I'm not a part of it, so I never read this indictment and don't want to read it or hear nothing about it.
And let's be fair. Were you in custody between June 10, 2015 and February 2019?
Can you say that again?
Were you in custody between June 10th of 2015 to February 28th, 2019?
February 28th?
Yes.
2019?
Yes. God bless you.
Can you
When did you get out of federal custody?
September 12th, 22nd, one of them days, 2019.
Okay. And were you also incarcerated from May 13th, 2020 to May 11th, 2021?
I went back to jail. I did over a year.
Do you remember then going back to jail June 15th,
Where?
2021?
Where was
July
he at?
24th, 2021.
Yes. You said from when?
June 15th, 2021 to July 24th, 2021.
You said from June to July?
June 15th of 2021 to July 24th of 2021.
So you said I did a month in jail?
Yes.
I don't remember that.
Okay.
I remember going back to jail, and both times I went back to jail after I got the feds, I was in there longer than a year.
Do you remember then getting arrested in October of 2021 and then being released in February of 2022?
You said October?
Yes.
And then getting released in a year later?
And let me say, going to prison in February of 2022.
Yeah, I went, yeah.
And you stayed in prison until August of 2022. Is that fair?
Yes.
Okay.
23,
And then you were transferred back to Fulton County in August of 2022, and you were in jail until March of 2023. Is that fair?
yes. They sound like it.
And you've been out since March of 2023, correct?
Until y'all locked me up for pleading the fifth.
And you spent the weekend in jail.
Yes.
Now let's talk about this October 2021 interview. On cross-examination, do you remember Mr. Steele playing a number of jail calls for you?
Yes.
Shake your head, yes.
Yes.
And do you recall those jail calls being from December of 2022 to about February of 2023?
From December to February. Okay, yes.
And do you recall 3 of those jail calls were from February of 2023?
Shit, I guess.
And do you remember the 3 jail calls that Mr. Steele played for you? That was after the October 2021 interview that you did with Investigator Viverito was released. Remember that?
I guess.
Now, this is the interview that you told Mr. Sharp last week you thought that the state of Georgia released, correct?
I believe it.
All right. Now, you had a total of 6 interviews with the Atlanta Police Department. Is that fair? 5 from 2015 and then 1 from October of 2021. Is that fair?
I don't keep up with it.
Okay. Do you remember watching 5 interviews in court?
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely. I don't want to watch it no more.
Okay. And the only one you did not watch was the October one. Is that fair?
Please tell me we're not about to watch another one.
Is that fair that you have not watched the October one?
Yes, I have watched it. The world watched it too.
Okay. The only video that was ever leaked was the one from October, correct?
Yes.
Did you know, or are you aware that between the Fulton County District Attorney's Office and the Atlanta Police Department that we've had that October 2021 interview since the day it was recorded?
Can you say that again?
Sure. Are you aware that between the Fulton County District Attorney's Office and the Atlanta Police Department that we've had that October 2021 interview from the day that you sat down and did the interview?
Yes.
Did you know that we had the interview for 16 months in our possession before it was released?
Yes.
Did you know that we served that particular interview in discovery in January of 2023?
Yeah. I think I've got it.
I
Ms.
believe
Hilton.
it is relevant to the assertion that defense counsel made last week when they opened the door as far as who released this interview. They questioned him. You're right. We objected.
Yeah, I mean, I think that is not a fair characterization. There was questioning about it.
And we objected to it, and it was overruled, Your Honor.
Mm-hmm.
And he was allowed to answer it. And so we are following up on the ability that he was able to answer that question.
Oh,
I would oppose that. On a jail call, I would like to ask questions of the prosecutor. This is testifying.
all right. It's not testifying. Ms. Hilton, rephrase your question.
Are you aware that that interview was given to defense in January of 2023?
No.
Are you aware that the video was released within 30 days of it being given to the defense?
Overruled.
Are you aware that after the video was released, we brought the fact that it was released to the court?
All right. Let's take a break.
Oh.
Break anyway.
eBed Films.
Tap the like button. Salute to everybody in here. Good morning. You already know what time it is. They need a break. It's getting sticky. It's getting sticky. It's getting sticky.
Predecessor court, court's attention that there was a
Y'all might want to ask yourself how that YouTuber leaked it first, though. Yeah.
of what I'll call October 2021 recording of an interrogation of Mr. Copeland and very harmful. Part that was released that I'm aware of and added to less text just as lies, documented lies about Mr. Williams. bottom of it. I've never heard back. A jail call, I listened to all these jail calls. And others listen to all these jail calls. On a jail call, I didn't say anything. In a jail call, Oakland said immediately after telling authorities in February, December 22, December 23, that he had lied. Everything he said was a lie about Mr. Williams, and he's telling this to his friend, sister. He said all of a sudden, jail call, this interrogation's released. So he believed it was the prosecution. That's how it all came up. For a prosecutor who's an advocate and vouch for and put her own credibility in, that's what I've been objecting to. Say, we gave it to the defense. And I'm raising my voice if I don't have I'm not trying to words.
Yeah.
My point is, sorry, Your Honor, that sounds like I did something wrong. I didn't release anything. I didn't do anything wrong. I was the one objecting for the release of this information. And it was given out, and I'm not very technical.
Hey, still, come up to the mic like you the 5 heartbeats, bro. Come on, bro.
Given out a Dropbox, and I was told that's a bad way to do it. Judge Glanville and predecessor judge don't do it that way anymore. Yet the Dropbox was never taken down. It was all a mess. Predecessor judge, and I'm not casting aspersions, it may have been a great investigation. I just never heard anything. Now we're here on Tuesday, the 3rd day of September, and the prosecution is asking questions really targeted. That did you know that within X amount of time that the defense got this discovery, which the previous answer was no. I don't know when the defense got the discovery. There's no foundation. That doesn't stop the attorney saying then it was released. Clearly, it's the same pattern that they've been given about all these witnesses. Mr. Trontavious Stevens, Mr. Bean, B-A-N, Mr. Murphy, this witness. Have you ever had to testify in front of Jeffery Williams or these other people? Now all of a sudden, testimony is different. And I've been objecting every time because there's no evidence of intimidation.
Yeah.
And what happened, which you may not know,
Mahadi salute.
based on information belief. I never spoke with Mr. Copeland about this, so maybe it's not true. I believe he got beat down after that was released.
He got beaten?
I could be wrong. But assuming that's all true,
He got beaten in the jail?
for the prosecutor to now say that their hands are clean, and I can't ask the question. Judge Lambo denied my request to call prosecutors and their agents to assert under oath, under questioning, who released this. Because it certainly wasn't in Mr. Williams' best interest. So anybody on Mr. Williams' behalf would be a disservice to release that Mr. Williams is having people killed going in the middle of jury selection. So anyway, my bottom line is this entire, Miss Hilton has taken, and I have all the cases we've argued before, but has taken herself, and she has moved from the position of asking questions and advocate to testifying as a witness. You told me I was there, Detective Longsaddle Park. You told me. You only told me this. Did you know that the prosecution served this? Were you aware that the defense had this? All of this needs to be questioned to prosecutor. So I asked the court, I know I've been asking that, and I know that I have a continued objection, but this is not how we try cases in the state of Georgia. All of these cases require Ms. Hilton to take the witness stand. And if she does, I have an objection because I'm not witnessing. But it's been denied. That's my objection. I'd like her to be removed from the case. I'm not trying to stymie the prosecution. They have other witnesses. They at counsel table 3 other lawyers. I mean, this is not new. So I ask for the prosecution that specifically Ms. Hilton and Ms. Love be removed from the case. I have questions for both of them. I also like to renew my motion I could call predecessor. That's my entire objection. The mistrial motion, I don't want a mistrial. I just tell them what I don't want it. This has to stop.
Yo.
And now the last questions had assume it is not true, so I don't want to go too far. But the next question will be, and you got beaten, Mr. Copeland, after the release of that.
He got beaten.
So those are my motions for this trial that I don't want. Don't want the motion for this trial, but I feel compelled to make.
All right.
That wasn't going to be my next question because I didn't know he got beat up in the jail.
Ah!
Last week when Mr. Shard, I believe, asked.
That may not be accurate. I don't have any personal knowledge, but I was not told.
Last week when Mr. Shard asked he went down a line of questioning about this call being released. And Mr. Shard asked Mr. Copeland who was his belief, what was his belief of who released this recording? And the state objected, saying that it wasn't relevant who he believed released this video. The court overruled the state's objection. He was able to answer that question, which was he believed it was the state. Mm-hmm. And at this point, we believe that it is proper for the same reason that he was able to disparage that the state will release such a video.
Okay, you need to be careful about what you're saying because there are questions from the attorneys and then there are answers from the witness stand, and that's what the evidence is. And I do not believe that anybody on the defense side made the suggestion that the state had released it. I mean, the transcript will reflect what was asked and what was answered, but...
And maybe not disparage is the right word, but the question was asked, who do you believe released the video? And he says, I believe it was the state of Georgia. I believe that an appropriate line of questioning, Your Honor, is would he feel differently if he thought that the defense leaked it? And to give questioning about what his understanding of, what Mr. Copeland's understanding is of what happened and what transpired when this video was released.
Well, we already know what Mr. Copeland's belief and understanding is.
But would it change if...
That's not what you asked, though.
But I had to give some foundational questions in order to...
The judge and Woody got to understand it.
Ask that question in order to ask what my next question is. Because another question I'm going to ask him, and it's something he alluded to earlier, was that after this video was released, Ms. Love, Investigator Long, Ms. Rolak all visited with him after this video was released to check on him.
Ms. Rolak, she related to Peter? Oh.
To make sure that he was okay. And he alluded to that earlier when he thought I was present at the meeting. And all of this happened around the time that the video was leaked. And so I was asking some foundational questions to Mr. Copeland to see if his position would be different if he thought that someone else leaked it and not the state of Georgia.
Then you should ask that question.
And I can get to that series of questions, Your Honor, but I don't...
I mean, you are coming very, very close to the line with this line of questioning. I mean, you're basically... The defense is not far off. Let's just put it that way.
So I can move to my last two questions regarding this, which is who came to visit him after the video was released, and would he feel differently if he believed that the defense leaked the video?
No.
No, I'm not going to let you ask that.
I knew it. Yo, hey, yo, give me my credit. Give me my credit, yo. Y'all heard me real time. I just assessed what she just said she was ready to do, and you heard me call it. Nope. You heard me. Look, bro, I'm even nice enough to call the judge. Yo, I'm on point, bro. I peeped it. No. You did. Come on, bro. I peeped it. That was too far. Nah.
At this point. And that's a total hypothetical question. That is an assumes facts, not an evidence question. Not the objection you keep making.
Your Honor, I feel compelled to just make a brief record. First of all, any insinuation that I asked a question about the release is way off. That topic never even came up during my cross.
You know what? And I know you're not finished, but let me just say that I believe that this jury is paying attention and that they have enough wherewithal to remember what actually happened, and for questions that are potentially misleading, I'm not sure why they're being asked, but I think the jury's going to take note of... Time out.
Salute this shorty with the goddamn, what is this? The goddamn Anita Baker blouse she got on. Whoa, this the slickest turtleneck been worn in this courtroom the whole time. She smoked him. I don't know what that is. Shorty got a silk roll neck, turtleneck. What is this? God damn it.
What Dot said And I understand, but I think the jury is doing what they have been told to do, which is
That's not a Prince closet. That's a Prince turtleneck.
That's not the questions.
And second, Your Honor, I just want Your Honor to understand kind of the backdrop here. I guess it was a release. I don't even remember the time that it was released, but apparently it was on social media. When that came to the attention of the court, to my recollection, from my vantage point, yelled at the defense, and this was prior judge, and essentially blamed us. And all of us were saying, well, we didn't do anything. I personally don't even know how to release a video to the press or the internet anyways.
That's cap shot. That's cap.
I just went along with it. Okay, there's going to be an investigation. We're being told we're under investigation. And then all of a sudden, no one mentions the investigation anymore. And it's kind of like, well, if you're accused of something, you would like to know the progress of said investigation.
I'm certainly happy to ask the predecessor chambers what's going on with it, if anything.
All right, let me explain to y'all how we find out how it got leaked. We go to the first website that was known for it to get put on, and we force them under subpoena, under oath, to tell us where they got it from. And then we can get a warrant for their email and their computer. Uh-oh.
But that's not really relevant to what's before this jury.
Well, it's not until the state, knowing that there was an investigation, knowing that they haven't heard of any findings, then lights this thing on fire again and starts suggesting that we did something wrong. And, I can only speak for myself. I don't believe anyone did anything wrong on this side. I know I didn't. And then somehow those insinuations are coming out in front of the jury with absolutely no basis. And I'm going to join my my friend, Mr. Steele, and I'm going to state my place that I believe the state.
Oh, was it 28 defendants still on the case when that evidence got released? So, meaning the other lawyers got it too? It might have been one of them, Your Honor.
This point is goading a mistrial and goading us to move for a mistrial. So I just think that was very inappropriate, and it suggested things that there is just no basis. And in fact, there's apparently been an investigation, and it's been settled as far as I know.
I don't know what has happened, if anything, with that. But would you like to address the assertion that you are goading the defense into a mistrial?
Yes, Your Honor. Number one.
Or into a motion for mistrial.
Yes, Judge. Thank you. Number one, we don't want a mistrial. We vehemently object to a mistrial, and we do believe that the line of questioning, whether it was posed by Mr. Sharp or Mr. Steele regarding Mr. Copeland's belief about who leaked that video, was, one, not relevant, but understanding that the court ruled as it did, we believe that an inquiry whether his belief that the state leaked the video had some impact on how he decided to testify would be a valid question.
Okay, that's, again, not what y'all asked.
Understood, Judge, understood. But I vehemently object to a mistrial. I do not believe that anyone here at this table has done anything, anyone at this table or on the state's behalf has done anything to in any way merit, warrant, call for, justify a mistrial. So we definitely object to a mistrial. And Your Honor, as it relates to the assertion that counsel for the state have somehow made themselves a witness repeatedly.
So why did y'all have Kenneth Copeland's real name typed out on a witness list at first, and then when you re-released the second witness list, you put his name and initials? So you not only might have possibly leaked that video, you might have leaked his name as a threat to him to try to secure that he would act in compliance with what you wanted him to do. It might be more actions that y'all did that could prove what y'all was up to be honest.
The witness has affirmed that there were people in the room whom either counsel for the defense could call without having to disqualify either prosecutor in this case. So that being obvious, we definitely object to a mistrial. And additionally, we object to the speaking objections that are being made while the jury is in the box.
All right, well, I'm going to overrule that objection. I don't think that is going on. Sometimes it's just not particularly clear what the objection is. And if I need further elucidation, then I have permitted that. But I'm going to overrule the motion for mistrial and or deny the motion for mistrial and deny the motion to remove either Miss Hilton or Miss Love from the case. I do think that it appears from the questions that there was somebody else present at every meeting. But, you know, Miss Hilton, that's another option as well. Yes, ma'am. I can't hear you.
All right.
Try that one.
All right, can you hear me?
That works.
All right. Your Honor, I want to add that we cannot question any other individual that was at that meeting about Ms. Hilton and the way that she asked some of her questions and made her comments. Let me give you an example. Ms. Hilton said, I was standing to the side because I didn't know you. That's her feelings. That's her reasoning on why she was standing where she was standing. Ms. Hilton also said, I was just being me. I can't ask Detective anyone in reference to that.
Hang on. Sorry. I mean, I think that each of those was not a statement. It was a question. It was a cross-examination question. They were, and was this essentially like, is this your recollection or is this what happened? So it was not her testifying. I'm overruling that objection.
All right. And I just want to add that she also said the purpose of the ex parte meeting. So there's no way that
he said, I have no idea what the purpose of that meeting was. So, I mean,
she got that dog.
I understand, but it's overruled. Thank you for the additional making of the record. Anything else?
Come on, man.
Those are objections that we're making.
All right, thank you. Okay, let's go ahead and take our restroom break as well.
What?
And let's try to be back as quickly as possible because the jury's already been out for.
No, not that I remember.
On cross-examination, you were asked by Mr. Steele about the murder warrants that were taken out regarding the Donovan Thomas murder. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Okay. And you remember telling Mr. Steele that you never saw the warrants, but you were told about the warrants by your then attorney back in 20.
My lawyer came to the jail and told me I was child murder.
Okay. And do you remember when your attorney came and spoke with you?
I was in the feds.
Okay. Were you ever brought to Fulton County Jail for those warrants?
I was in the feds.
Okay. Were you ever arrested on those warrants?
I was in the feds.
Were those warrants dismissed against you?
That's what I was told.
Okay. And is it fair to say that you have not or were not indicted for the murder of Donovan Thomas Jr.? Is that fair to say?
I don't understand you.
Were you ever charged with the murder, like formally charged with the murder of Donovan?
Well, my lawyer came to the jail and told me I've been charged with murder.
Okay. And did your lawyer also tell you that the case was dismissed against you?
Yeah, like at one point, I can't remember when.
Were you still in the feds?
I think so.
All right. Now, last week, Mr. Shard asked you about the false statement arrest warrants that were taken out by the Fulton County Sheriff's Department. Do you remember him asking you about that?
Yes.
And it wasn't until last week that you found out that those charges were dismissed against you, correct?
When he told me, that's when I knew. That's when I first time hearing about it.
Okay. Now, do you remember him showing you a document?
Yo, the tactic she using is it's a change the argument tactic, y'all. Yeah, I've been doing research, y'all. I don't know the name of it specifically, but just know this. It's a tactic where as though when you getting beat, right, you change the argument. Real rap, pay attention. She walking the clock down too, y'all. Pay attention.
Remember him showing
She not winning.
this document last week, defense 27, Charlie?
Yes.
And do you remember him asking you about Fonnie Wilson's name on here? Do you remember him asking you about whether or not her name was on there?
It's the same paper?
Okay.
Yes.
Right. Did Fonnie Willis sign this document?
I don't supposed to know.
His name is on the bottom.
Eyes? Nose? I don't know how to pronounce that.
Does that say Kenneth Hutcherson?
Yes.
Okay. And is it fair to say that that's not my name, correct?
Now your name is Hilton.
Okay. That's not Ms. Love's name?
You just said the name.
Is it fair to say that no one over here talked to you about that case prior to last week when you learned about it, correct?
I don't get what you're asking me.
We did not, did anyone from this prosecution team here dismiss this case in exchange for your testimony?
My first time hearing about this case.
Sustained.
Yeah, salute. Straight
Did
up.
we ever tell you, did any of us ever tell you that your charges would be dismissed if you testify? That those charges would be dismissed against you if you testify?
Objection. No alternate witness.
The same objection as before. She's just overruled.
Did anyone talk to you about those dismissal of those charges in exchange for your testimony?
I ain't know nothing about church till he told me about it.
So it's fair to say that you are not testifying here today because in exchange for your testimony for dismissal of those charges.
I'm testifying here by force.
Okay. Now, on cross last week, you were asked by Mr. Steele, excuse me, let me ask you this. Do you remember Mr. Steele showing you a number of video clips last week from your from your interviews from June of 2015?
Yes.
And then he also showed you clips from your interview in January of 2015 as well.
He showed my interrogations.
Okay. And do you recall being asked by Mr. Steele on cross whether the district attorney or the police or anybody ever came back to tell you or confirm with you things that you said? Do you remember him asking you a lot?
I don't get what you're saying.
Sure. Do you remember Mr. Steele asking you whether or not the state of Georgia, the police, or if anyone ever came back and showed you a 911 call? Do you remember him asking you about that?
Yes.
Do you remember him asking you if anyone ever came back and told you that they talked to Valerie?
He asked me no questions.
Okay.
That's what you asked me?
Yes.
Yeah.
And do you remember him asking you multiple questions like that?
Well, he asked me a lot of questions.
Okay, God bless you. Now, let me ask you this. You served about 51 months in federal custody. Is that fair?
Yes, a little bit over, but...
After your release, did you want to speak with the Atlanta Police Department?
What you mean?
Once you were released from custody, did you want to meet with the Atlanta Police Department?
They never tried to reach me.
Okay. Did anyone from the state, the police, or anyone ever tell you that they found shell casings on a side street on January 6, 2015?
Say that again?
Did anyone from either the police department, the state of Georgia, ever tell you that they found I'm gonna strike that question around.
Okay.
Did anyone ever come from the state of Georgia, from the police? Did anyone ever tell you about the Hertz rental car records that you were shown a few weeks ago?
Nobody never said that to me.
Okay. Did anyone ever from the police department or the state of Georgia ever showed you the surveillance video that you saw last week?
Which one?
The surveillance video, God bless you, at the gas station.
Say that again?
The surveillance video at the gas station.
You said what about it?
Did anyone ever show you that before you saw it in court last week?
Yeah, I seen it before.
Where'd you see it?
On the news.
Okay. Did you ever come into the police department to see it at all?
I never, no.
Okay. Did anyone from the police department, the state of Georgia, ever show you telephone records that they received?
The police just asked me questions.
Okay. Did anyone ever show you your telephone records from 2015?
No.
Did anyone from the state of Georgia ever show you cell phone records from NARD that they may have received?
Which NARD?
Demise McMullen.
You say that again?
Did anyone ever show you any phone records from Demise McMullen, also known as NARD, that they may have received?
What you mean? With me and him talking?
Did anyone ever show you any telephone records, period, that came from NARD?
Y'all can't, because NARD don't got my number. I don't know nothing about what you're talking about.
I'm just asking, did anyone ever show you any telephone records?
No.
Okay. Did anyone ever show you any telephone records from Duwop's phone?
Nobody never showed me no telephone, nothing.
Did anyone ever play any calls from jail with Duke and Javorce Bradford or Tuda?
How I supposed to know?
Did anyone ever play that for you?
Oh, no.
Did anyone ever show you telephone records from OG Bentley?
No.
Did anyone ever show you any phone records from Thug?
Who?
Thug.
No.
Did anyone ever play any phone calls from Shannon Stillwell for you?
You showed me.
I played for you a telephone call with Shannon?
The visitation?
Not the visitation, a phone call. Did anyone ever play for you a phone call with Shannon?
No.
Just because you didn't see these things, does that mean that these things do not exist?
Huh?
Just because you never saw these things doesn't mean that it does not exist.
I supposed to know.
Okay. Now, Mr. Copeland, on cross-examination, you were asked by Mr. Steele about the fight at Club Crucial. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Do you remember also testifying on cross-examination that you spun out in the Infinity with Quindarius Zachary?
I don't know nothing about that. I don't recall. I don't know what you're saying.
Do you remember testifying last week that you were in the Infinity a few days before Nutt's murder and it spun out on the highway?
What you asking me?
I object to the form of the question.
It's apparently you're not the only one that objects to it. Mr. Copeland does not understand what you're trying to ask him. Rephrase the question. Sure.
Last week, do you remember being asked by either Mr. Steele or Mr. Shard about the Infinity spinning out on the highway a few days before Nutt's murder?
Why don't you just try to ask it maybe in pieces?
Do you remember last week being asked about the Infinity spinning out on the highway?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. And did that spin out happen right before Nutt's murder?
What you mean? So you saying right before it happened?
Do you remember telling last week during cross-examination?
I remember saying that. I read the card and I gave you the threat.
Right. And then you also remember you gave threat the car at the studio the night before Nutt's murder, correct? You remember giving the car the threat the night before Nutt's murder, correct?
I'm listening.
Is that a yes? You remember that?
I remember getting threat the car and leaving.
Okay. And you also remember stealing Nutt's chain, correct?
I ain't steal nothing.
Or do you remember taking Nutt's chain out of the car?
What about it?
Do you remember testifying that you remember that last week?
I remember.
And that you testified to remembering that you gave him back the chain, correct?
Yes, I did.
But the only thing you don't remember now is what Little D told you in the car at the McDonald's. Is that fair to say?
It's not remember. It's like I told you, I made it up. Like, I mean, the D didn't get in the car and tell me that.
And is it only now in 2024 that it's convenient that you don't remember what D told you, or that D did not tell you anything inside of that car?
Because I didn't think I didn't think it was gonna be a big deal. I just, if I knew that it would have did all of this, I wouldn't even, you know what I mean? Like, damn, man, I keep telling y'all.
Do you remember on cross-examination, Mr. Steele asking you about the shooting at the gambling house?
I'd have been involved in so many shootings, man. Like, you got to be more specific.
The shooting at the gambling house that happened the week before Nutt passed away. Do you remember talking to Mr. Steele about that?
He was more specific, and I'm asking, can you be more specific?
Do you remember Mr. Steele asking you if you heard a 911 call from the shooting at the gambling house where Thug's car got shot at?
I remember he asked.
Okay. To your knowledge, did Thug ever get his car window fixed?
To my knowledge, did he ever get his car fixed?
Get the car window fixed?
I never seen a bullet hole in his car.
So you're saying that you never saw the window get shot out at the gambling center?
When the night it happened, I was so mad. Shit, by the time I noticed he was gone, I didn't even, I don't know.
Now, do you remember last week on Cross that Mr. Steele showed you the surveillance video from the Texaco gas station?
Yes.
And do you remember him asking you whether or not you saw Thug get out the car?
I'm listening.
You remember him asking you that?
Yes.
Okay. And do you remember, I believe Mr. Shard also asked you if you saw Shannon get out the vehicle? Do you remember?
Yeah, I remember them asking.
Okay. First, let me ask you, did you or Thug get the car window tinted on the Infiniti after you rented it from the Hertz rental facility?
I don't know what you're talking about.
So you don't know if you got it tinted?
I don't even think the car had tinted windows on it. I can't remember if it had tinted windows on it or not.
I'm asking, did you or Thug go get the windows tinted?
I don't know if the car was tinted. Like, I don't know. I can't remember if the car was tinted or not.
Now, on the night of Donovan Thomas's murder, it's fair you were not at the gas station that night, correct?
I told y'all I was at my baby mom's house.
And you only told the police what Little D from Mechanicsville told you, correct?
I told the police whatever to get them out of me.
And in that interview, you told the police that Little D told you that they switched cars at the gas station, correct?
Excuse me. You say that again?
Sure. You told the police that Little D told you that they switched the cars at the gas station, correct?
I told the police whatever to get them out of me.
Do you know if they switched the cars behind the gas station?
How would I know?
Okay.
I just know when I looked at that video where they showed me last week, I didn't see nobody switch cars, so I felt that that'll prove that, you know what I mean, that I lied in the past. I can't speak on now. Like,
But you only know what Demekion told you, correct?
he didn't tell me that.
Now,
If he would have told me that, I would have knew. So for example, let's say if they did switch cars at the gas station, the camera would show that. So I that's why I keep telling you, stop going in the past. I ain't trying to go to jail, but if you're gonna keep going in the past, I'm telling you, don't do that because I lied.
Okay. Do you know if there were cameras behind the gas station?
To my understanding, there's cameras all over them.
I'm asking you specifically, do you know if there were gas station cameras behind the gas station?
You gotta go ask the gas station and see.
Now, on cross-examination, Mr. Steele asked you, or you told Mr. Steele that Thug encouraged you to speak to the police on the night of the murder. Is that fair to say?
I don't recall telling him that. I don't know.
Let me ask you, did Thug take you down to the police department to go talk to the police?
No.
On the same night of Donovan Thomas's murder, your family's house was targeted, correct?
My baby mother's house was.
And to your knowledge, Mr. Williams or Thug's stepfather's house was targeted, correct?
To my knowledge, I don't know. I don't have a clue. Still to this day, I don't know.
Now, on cross-examination, you told defense counsel that you had multiple phones back in January of 2015. Is that fair?
I did.
Okay.
I had two, not multiple.
You had two phones. Now, I'm going to show you a screenshot of Stacey did a 378 Yankee Alpha.
Excuse me, Judge.
Yes.
You could add on just a little bit.
What?
You need a hoodie.
As in hotter or colder?
It's freezing. Thank you so much.
Yo, the first one to get the temp changed. He was so pleasant.
Now, do you see the screenshot of 378 Yankee Alpha?
Yes.
And is that a phone in your hand?
Yes.
And I'm going to also show you a screenshot from 378 Yankee Bravo. And do you have a cell phone in that picture as well?
So I guess so.
Now, when you said you had two phones, did you have one phone that was your primary phone?
Can you be more, what you mean?
Is there one phone that you use more than the other phone?
I got both of them for the same purpose.
What was the same purpose?
To use them.
What?
Is there one phone that you called Deshaun on primarily?
I call on both phones if I had to.
Okay. What about calling your brother, Trez?
I treat both phones the same.
Do you remember the phone number for both phones?
I actually got locked up with the other phone.
When did you get locked up with the other phone?
For my probation violation.
The phone that you showed Detective Thorpe on January 11th, that is the phone that you had with you the night of Donovan Thomas's murder, correct?
Can you say it again?
The phone that you showed Detective Thorpe, that is the phone you had with you the night of Donovan Thomas's murder.
Yes. It's my one I showed in the interview?
Yes.
Yes.
And that is the phone number that you gave him for the night of Donovan Thomas's murder, correct?
I don't know which phone number I gave him. I can't just say yeah or no to that.
Now, do you remember we talked about this earlier? Mr. Steele, I'm playing for you a jail call from December of 2022. Do you remember that?
December 22?
Yes, when you were in the Fayette County Jail.
Yes.
And do you remember in that call talking to your, I believe it was your sister, about Yak overhearing a conversation that you had?
Yes.
And that Yak was in the bedroom, I believe, with your cousin, and you were talking to someone else, and he overheard that conversation. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And you were concerned that he was going to tell people about the conversation he overheard. Do you remember that?
I'm concerned. I try to be more secretive about whatever I got going on.
What was the conversation that you were having that you were concerned he was going to go back and tell?
Anya.
I don't think you heard me. I like to be secretive about my conversation.
Well, let's play Defense Exhibit 250. And we're going to only play from 425 to 559.
I need to put the headphones on?
Yes, please.
It's working there?
It should be.
I mean, again,
Is it showing up on your computer?
It's right here, but I hit it out loud. I went ahead and do these. Let me take it out, put it back in.
Are you on the Zoom? Can you see that same screen?
Can I? It's right here.
That same screen is on your computer?
Mm-hmm.
overheard me and somebody else having a conversation.
No.
Know what I mean? So
Hello, this is a prepaid.
Last week, it seemed to just take it a minute before it would play on there. And also, where are the good headphones that were
This is
around
crazy,
a few weeks
bro.
ago? Anybody know?
We talking about audio problems in Atlanta. Yo, do y'all know how many guitar centers and audio equipment locations is available, bro? We talking about Micro Center. We talking Best Buy. We talking, what we doing?
We were still looking for them, Your Honor.
Yo, you could even get it delivered.
It got carted away with
Yeah,
the other.
I think so too, but that might help also.
We are trying to find those.
All right.
The mixing board right here, y'all. See all the wires? I told y'all. Now something wrong right here because they got a stereo cable getting split into a mono cable.
Yeah, I can hear.
So I'm going to call this a red flag right here. I'm going to call out this a red, whatever this stereo is, going in, being put into a mono right here, that is uncalled for going into this mixer. I don't know what that's about, but that ain't right. Ain't supposed to be no stereo mics going into no single channel. So I don't know what is only mics out there. So whatever this is, this ain't right. Right here. I'm calling it. Straight up. Man.
I mean, again, they had overheard me and somebody else having a conversation.
Oh, another red flag. It being hanging like that, you putting tension on the cable itself. It's a cheap cable. I'm letting you know off top. All of them is. Any of these types of cables. I'm an expert in using these for real. They throwaways. Look, this weight of this pulling this down and that bending up there. That's a red flag. I'm telling you.
I mean, so he was in suicide. Yeah. This nigga was late. No, sister, our cousin.
Oh. Whoa.
This nigga was laid up in her bed, and I was in the living room.
Super J. There's no visual cables look like that, bro. That ain't no visual cable. Ain't no visual splitter look like that. And that's an audio mixer that's running into you.
Yeah, I was in the living room telling nigga, I was telling my partner, like, man, look, man, these fuck niggas got, this man third. I'm telling him what's going on, like, these fuck niggas playing on me. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
So while I'm telling him that these niggas playing on me, this nigga, get the whole conversation come out the room.
Mm-hmm.
So when I see him, my mouth dropped. I'm like, what? You feel me? Like, so when he heard the whole conversation, I'm just like, shit, fuck it. I mean, I already know you could go back and let them niggas know what's him. Like, he tried to tell me that what I was talking about, I was wrong. I ain't know what I was talking about. I'm like, yeah, I do know what I'm talking about. I ain't stupid.
That's so funny. There's a more, I said, that's the crazy thing. Y'all didn't put that much more in my book.
Then after that, then what's your name when trying to post on your Instagram page and try to come back around. Man, come back around, y'all niggas. I knew what y'all got saying. Come on, man, y'all be crazy here thinking I'm stupid.
Now, Mr. Copeland, what conversations were you having such that you were concerned that he was going to go back, he being Yak was going to go back and tell people about the conversation you were having?
What you mean?
What were you talking about to your friend that he overheard that you were concerned they were going to go back and tell?
I was planning on doing something to somebody. That's what I said.
In the call, didn't you tell your sister that you said, I was in the living room telling this N-word, telling my partner, like, F these N-words, this, that, and the third. I'm telling him what's going on, that they plotting on me. You feel me? When I'm telling him that these N-words are plotting on me, this N-word yet heard the whole conversation, and he came out the bedroom.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So, who did you think was plotting on you?
And I tell you, I like to I think they was planning on me.
Who's the they?
Mr. Williams.
Okay.
That's what I said.
And you were concerned that Yak was going to go back and tell Mr. Williams and them what you were telling your friend?
I wasn't concerned about him going back and telling me. I really was debating, should I let him leave?
Damn.
Did you tell Yak, I already know that you fixing to go back and tell them what happened? And he tried to tell you, I'm not going to do that.
Me and my friend was looking at each other, trying to debate on what we had going on right then and there.
And it's safe to say that you didn't do anything.